Simeon Sergeyevich Lyapidevskiy was born in 1866 in the town of Stavropol, becoming the firstborn son to a family of hereditary clergy archpriest Sergius and his wife Vera Alexeyevna. In 1868, daughters Sophia and Nina were born to the Lyapidevskys, while several years later, son Konstantin. In 1885, Simeon Sergeyevich finished the Royal School of Baku, and on the 1st of September 1891 was hired as a bank clerk in Moscow State Bank, while a year and a half later was taken in the Stavropol diocesan office. Simeon Sergeyevich married a priest's daughter Maria Nadezhda Mikhailovna, and on the 29th of April 1892 was ordained a priest to the Church of the Intercession of Virgin Mary in the village of Blagodatne of Stavropol province. According to his own words, Father Simeon did not get any spiritual education, as he had prepared for the priesthood himself. On the 9th of May the same year, Father Simeon was transferred to the Church of Saint Barbara in the town of Stavropol. On the 12th of November, to the Church of Saint Nicholas the Miracle Maker in the village of Amavir, being also appointed a teacher of the Law of God of the Second People's College, while on the 25th of June 1894, by the private invitation of Bishop Agafodor Preobrazhensky, the priest was appointed to the Church of Saint Pantaleon in the town of Yeisk. Apart from the duties of a priest, Father Simeon worked as a teacher, being the head and the teacher of the Law of God at the parish school of the Church of Saint Pantaleon. 5 children were born to the Lyapidevskys. In 1894, Eugene, in 1896, Tatiana, a year later, Ekaterina, in 1903, son Sergei, while in 1906, Vera. In 1896, the priest joined the service of military spiritual office and was appointed to the Church of Artillery, military units and institutions of Moscow. The same year, Father Simeon was awarded with a medal in honor of the reign of Emperor Alexander III. In 1897, by the Archpresbyter of Military and Marine Office Alexander Zhelobovsky, Father Simeon was appointed to serve to the Church of Saint Nicholas the Miracle Maker of Moscow Military Prison. On the 16th of December the same year, the priest was awarded with a waistcloth, while on the 25th of October 1900 with a skufia. According to family reminiscences, later the priest served at the Church of Holy and Mercenaries Cosmas and Damian at Mali Kamenny Bridge on Moroseyka. On the 2nd of December 1901, the father of the priest, archpriest Sergius Lyapidevskiy, died. And on the 1st of January 1902, according to the resolution of Vladimir, the Bishop of Moscow, the third representative of noble dynasty of Lyapidevskys, priest Simeon, was appointed to the Church of the Icon of Our Lady, Joy of All Who Sorrow. In 1909 he was confirmed as the prior of the church. In Moscow the priest lived on Bolshaya Ordinka Street, house 27, flat 10. At the Church of the Icon of Our Lady, Joy of All Who Sorrow, priest served without any hurry, but did not make the service very long. After the liturgy they always served a public prayer to Our Lady, sometimes reading an akatist, always singing a canon, "Sorrow temptations lure my weak soul." On Sundays after the evening song, talking on religious and moral issues were organized. There has been kept a diary of monastic martyr Hieromonk Nikon Belaev, the elder of Optina, who wrote, "My first ghostly father was archpriest Sergius Lyapidevskiy, who now passed away, while the second his son, priest Simeon Lyapidevskiy. One day during the confession, Father Simeon told me that it was necessary to go to church on holidays, as it was our debt owned by God. I thought for some time and agreed. Since that time I began to go to church often, even during the weekdays when I was free. It became a habit." The priest was a common visitor to the family of the Belovs. Vera Lavrentievna was a godmother of his younger son Sergei. One day he heard Nikolai singing and persuaded Vera Lavrentievna to let the boy sing and read in a church choir. She agreed, and future Hieromonk Nikon gladly accepted the invitation. Before Nikolai and Ivan Belaevs left for their monastery, Father Simeon Lyapidevskiy told them, "If you withstand great Lent in Optina monastery, it will be the sign that you should be in Optina, that it will be the will of God." The priest added to the future monastic martyr Nikon, "Yes, there you will see and experience indeed discovering to your cost the existence of devil and its temptations, the things that you had read only in books. On the 6th of May 1906, priest Simeon Lyapidevskiy was awarded with a Kamilavka, while on the 6th of May 1912, after the petition of parishioners of the Church of the Icon of Our Lady, Joy of All Husarov, Moscow Metropolitan Vladimir Bogayevlensky ordered to award the priest with a golden pectoral cross. Also, Father Simeon was awarded with a medal in honor of participation in the activity of Red Cross organization during the Russo-Japanese War, while on the 15th of August 1912, as the elder descendant of the dynasty of clergy, the priest was blessed to wear a bronze pectoral cross with Vladimir ribbon, in honor of the Patriotic War of 1812. On the 6th of May 1916, the priest was awarded with the Order of St. Anna of the Third Class. Father Simeon continued publishing of spiritual and public journal The Helmsman that his father had begun. Its attachments were especially popular. Public review, illustrated lists on all Sundays and holidays, modern issues from the point of view of the Orthodoxy, hagiographies of saints, the verity of God, Holy Rus, the light of the Orthodox. On the 29th of June 1917, Father Simeon was ordained an archpriest. But the revolution happened. The flood of terrible repressions swept the whole country. Archpriest Simeon, the prior of the Church of the Icon of Our Lady, Joy of All Husarov on Ardymka, also had to face godless persecutions. The son of famous priest Sergius Pavlovich Lyapidevskiy and the nephew of Moscow Metropolitan Sergius, he could not remain unnoticed by the OGPU. Father Simeon Lyapidevskiy was arrested in early October 1918 for publishing journal The Helmsman that was not published since the end of 1917. From the archive documents, it is only clear that the priest was imprisoned in Butyrka in Moscow. Father Simeon became the victim of the campaign of Moscow Extraordinary Commission. According to the similar cases, Bishop Nikanor Fenomenov, priest Sergius Frazinov, Archbishop Varnava Nekropin, Archbishop Makarios Nevsky were imprisoned. On the 12th of March 1919, the priest's wife Nadezhda Mikhailovna petitioned about the release of Father Simeon, who had not even accused yet. Due to the fact that my husband is not guilty, and the imprisonment is very harmful for his health, his nerves and his heart disease that he is having, as well as this situation is rather hard for my family that consists of 5 people, 2 of them are little children. We are in need and grinding poverty. I ask you to release him as an innocent person. Moreover, as he is considered a counter-revolutionary, he is to be released according to the amnesty in the anniversary of the revolution. In 1919, after several months of imprisonment in Butyrka, due to the absence of the indictment, Archpriest Simeon Lyapidevskiy was finally released. According to the materials of the investigation case, in the covering letter it was written that the 8th Department considers the imprisonment of the following clergymen with no enough materials to be unacceptable, that does not meet the requirements of the separation of the Church from the State, as these people are considered to be martyrs by densely ignorant people. The further life of the priest was uneasy and is hardly traced. From 1920 to 1929, Archpriest Simeon Lyapidevskiy became the prior of Moscow Church of the Life-Giving Trinity in Bolshoi Luzhniki. In 1922, the Bolsheviks literally robbed the rich church, taking a large amount of gold and silver. According to the protocols of the interrogation of Father Simeon, in 1929 the Trinity Church was closed, while he was evicted out of the church house, while no housekeeper agreed to register him in any other houses, so the priest decided to move to a province. By accident he was told by a high priest about Komleva. Then he came there to serve, settling in a lodge. Father Simeon served at the Church of the Icon of Our Lady of Kazan, in the village of Komleva of Ruza district of Moscow region, from late 1929 or early 1930. His own thoughts about things happening in post-revolutionary Russia, Archpriest Simeon Lyapidevskiy expressed in the interrogation protocol of the OGPU. I feel negatively about all new and consider the word life clergy as something insulting. I was a conservator, so according to the current regime, I could treat socialistic ideas only negatively. The last was expressed in the journal that I published. My views did not change in comparison with those I had before the revolution. So, considering renegation a disgrace, I could not betray the Church, as I am a deeply faithful person, and would like to die at the altar of God. On the 17th of November 1932, Father Simeon was arrested by Ruza OGPU department according to a false case of the counter-revolutionary Kulak organization. Meanwhile, during the search in the priest's house, nothing was found. On the 2nd of December, the priest was questioned. Already in 2 weeks, the Ruza OGPU department decreed to imprison Archpriest Simeon for organizing corruptive activity among faithful together with the Kulaks of Kobliva. According to the materials of the investigation, the group led by priest Simeon Lyapidevskiy organized the anti-Soviet activity aimed on the disruption of all events of Soviet authorities in the village, while priest Lyapidevskiy, being highly respected by peasants from nearby villages, influences on them in the anti-Soviet way. Moreover, in the indictment it was written that serving at the church and being a good speaker, Lyapidevskiy appealed to the faithful to defend the church. Faithful cried after his words. On the 9th of January 1933, according to the 58th article, paragraphs 10 and 11 of the Criminal Code of Russia, by the special meeting of the OGPU of Moscow region, priest Simeon Lyapidevskiy was sentenced to 3 years of exile to Kazakhstan. According to the unconfirmed information, upon his release, Archpriest Simeon Lyapidevskiy moved to the station of Pavelets of Skopin district of Ryazan region, where he lived on Peromaiskaya Street, house 25. Possibly, the priest served at a local church of Michael the Archangel, being later arrested once again and exiled to the north. Unfortunately, it is unknown where and when Archpriest Simeon Lyapidevskiy finished his mundane path.